President Obama is back at the White House after attending a 3-day summit with leaders of Latin America. But now questions are being asked about his interaction with Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez. CBS News senior White House correspondent Bill Plante has more. And good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Harry. The president spent some time at this weekend summit meeting talking with some of America's harshest critics. And one of them, Venezuela's Hugo Chavez, has released new video, no surprise there, showing himself yesterday with the president. And the president is now getting some heat back at home. President Obama defends his visit with Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez. Asked about the notion that his willingness to talk to enemies of the U.S. was a sign of weakness, the president said it was unlikely that he was endangering the strategic interest of the United States.
I mean, the whole notion is that somehow, if we showed courtesy or opened up dialogue with governments that had previously been hostile to us, that somehow would be a sign of weakness. It doesn't make sense.
His simple handshake with Venezuela's president was a symbolic break with the Bush administration policy of shutting out unfriendly nations.
We have some very specific national interests, starting with safety and security, that we have to attend to. But we recognize that other countries have good ideas too.
Now that he's back home, the president is turning to domestic affairs. He holds his first cabinet meeting today, and he's going to instruct his cabinet officials, according to senior officials who tell us this, to cut a collective $100 million over the next 90 days. Harry?
Bill, I remember when that used to sound like a lot of money. Thanks very much. Joining us from Washington, former Bush press secretary Dana Perino and former Clinton press secretary Dee Dee Myers. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning, Harry.
Let's talk about the Hugo Chavez picture. I want to reiterate what Bill Plante said. The president said it is very unlikely that shaking hands or having a polite conversation with Mr. Chavez will endanger the strategic interest of the United States. Have the critics of this photo op made a mountain out of a molehill? Let me start with Dana Perino.
Well, I think that if he wanted to show a difference in terms of style in regards to George Bush, he did that. We did not shake hands with Hugo Chavez. We were not friendly with dictators. However, I'm less worried about so much of the handshake. I think, though, that what we will need to see is if any behavior changes. And one of the things President Obama just said in that clip is that these regimes were previously hostile to the United States. And from what I heard and read about the words of those leaders at the Summit of the Americas, they are no less hostile to the United States than they used to be. And we'll have to see if the people of Venezuela and the people of Cuba and other people who were freedom fighters that need our solidarity are concerned. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, I would have loved to have seen more pictures with people like President Uribe of Colombia, who has worked very hard to establish democracy
Hugo Chavez
there.
is a camera hog, and that, of course, as an avowed enemy and who called
and he gave him the opportunity.
Your boss a devil, then that's the picture that's going to make the news.
I think he'll call Obama something like that in the near future. I just think that he doesn't change at all.
Okay, let's go to Dee Dee. Dee Dee, was this the picture itself, the opportunity itself to be seen in a cordial manner, was that an error?
No, I think it's a positive change. President Obama made clear when he ran for president and since he's become president that he is going to establish a different kind of relationship with both countries who've been friendly to us and some that haven't been friendly to us. And what was interesting was a lot of the leaders who were there at the Summit of the Americas said the tone was so positive, it was so productive that not in their wildest dreams could they have imagined that the summit could be like this compared to what it was 4 years ago when people were protesting in the streets and nothing got done. They said, this will create a real opportunity for us to address problems like the economic crisis that's really weighing on so many countries in that part of the world. So it's a positive step forward. As the president said, this doesn't change our strategic objectives anywhere in the world. It means we're starting a new dialogue with a new tone.
All right, I don't have a lot of time left. I'm going to go back to the tea parties last night and this rising sort of disaffection with the government and the Obama administration. If you are President Obama, and this is a press secretary question, a quick answer from both. Dee Dee, do you address it or ignore it?
I think you continue to do what you're doing. Focus on your the policies that you're trying and what you're trying to accomplish, and reassure people that this is in the country's best interest and move forward.
All right, and Dana?
Well, I hardly think that you can go and shake hands with dictators and be friendly with them and then ignore people in your own country who have concerns about your budget.
Dana Perino, Dee Dee Myers, thank you very much for a lively conversation this morning. Do appreciate it.
Thanks, Harry.
All right, be well.